Hi friends, it's Diane, the Creative Inkster, and today is Wednesday, July 19th, and I'm giving you a pre-recorded video because I have the joy of my one-year-old grandson coming to visit tonight. So I didn't want you to miss out. Here's the project. We'll get started. Hang in there one sec while I switch cameras. There we go. And here is the project. So I posted a photo of it, at least a sneak peek photo. But this is the project, and I'm going to show you how we cut these triangles really simply to make a couple of different layouts. So I'm going to first show you the three layout options that I've come up with. So you can take a screenshot of them. So this one has, you'll just see the triangles go certain ways. So this one has 2, 4, 6, 8 triangles. This one also has 8 triangles, all the same ones that we're cutting out. This one only has 7. So I wanted to show different ways where it doesn't matter if the pattern is higgly-piggly, and in this case where there's an obvious up and down pattern with the flowers here. So these are all laid out on layers which are 3.5 by 4 3/4. So I'm going to have one of those layers as well. And then I'm starting with a 3-inch by 6-inch piece of patterned paper. So I'm going to cut this in half and we'll get started. But I want you to have an opportunity to take a screenshot of those layouts. All righty. I think I'm going to probably go ahead with this one. All right. Let's get the paper trimmer in. Grab your 3 by 6 if your 6 by 6 if you're starting with that. And I'm going to cut it down to 3 by 6. So that's half of the 6 by 6 stacks that we sell, or a smaller portion. You would get 8 of these out of a piece of 12 by 12. And take one. Oh, and one of the important things is to make sure that the front and the back are coordinating. If not, you might want to take 2 different pieces and make them work together. All right, so you've got your 3 by 6. You're going to cut it into 2 pieces of 3 by 3. It's pretty simple. You're cutting in half at the 6-inch mark. Then you're going to cut them into 4 triangles, both of them. Now I'm going to do them separately because I just don't trust myself in getting it lined up to go through if I try to do 2 at a time, but you do you. So on the diagonal of the 3 by 3 square, I'm going to cut in half. And I'm going to cut each of these in half this way. So there's probably a fancy word for this type of triangle. I did not do well in math or geometry or any of that. I'll try to find a spot where I can put this so you can see well. So you put the long flat side up against your trimmer, and then the point in the track. Let's take that out of the way a bit. And you've got 2 triangles. And then you're going to go ahead and do this as well. So the same way, put the long side up in the track, at the top, and the point down below. So we'll do the same thing with this other 3 by 3. So we will cut it in half diagonally. We're going to have a few pieces left over. And we will cut in half again. I'm going to double check. Yeah, that's right. Cut in half again. We have a whole bunch of triangles. So you see how they're starting to shape up, how they'll fit. So we need some smaller ones here. So this one, you would actually have a couple left over. So I'm going to just set that half aside. So out of this group of 6, I'm going to cut one of these in half as well. The top. And that's going to get the smaller triangle here. So actually on this layout, I need 4 of these. So there's 2. And I'll cut another one of the triangles in half. So I have 4 of these small triangles, and I need 4 of the large triangles. So what I have left from this 3 by 6 is this one segment down here. So just to recap, we took the 3 by 6 and we cut it in half here, and then we cut it into triangles. And we cut each of those into triangles and then had this one segment left. All right, this is how the layer goes. You definitely need a 3.5 by 4 3/4 layer on which to work. Leave that there in case you need to take a screenshot. And you're going to go in a little bit from each side. Don't worry if the middle's a little messed up, because you can use your focal point, which I have here, to cover that up. And no one's really the wiser. So let's put that focal point on there. And we'll see how well that just kind of hides our little wee mess. Okay, so we have 8 triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to put this one up here. So you're going to grab your glue or your tape runner, whatever you like to use. None of this is popped up. Save popping up for your matted layer here. It's it's not a perfect science. There's not going to be a perfect bit of layout. You might want to play with that a little, but I found if I went this way and then sorry, what am I trying to do? I did that, and then I want to get this one coming in like this, but I want this pattern showing up. So I'm going down and building off this one I first positioned. There we go. There we go, get that guy in place. And then I'm going to make a mirror image on this side, like so. This one down. Now, the first time you do this, you might want to position them all before you start gluing them, so you get a sense of how you're eyeballing those segments in between. And so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we've got to put another large one over here, which is going back to this leaf pattern like this. Now you could leave the top as a large triangle if you wish. And the other thing you can do is, if you find that your layers on the right or the left are not, as you're building this, even on either side, you could trim a smidgen off. We're going to try to hide whatever's happening up in here, but this is a full triangle, but I'm going to put 2 different ones. I'm going to put this one, and I'm going to put this one. How much fun is this? And it's so easy as compared to having to get a die to cut the pieces. You're just cutting triangles. Super simple, super easy to do. I'm sorry that I wasn't there to be live with you, though. It's always nice to kind of interact and say hi and see who's watching. So I do hope you'll be popping in tonight and checking it out. Giving this one a whirl with your favorite pattern paper. Okay, so I could have pulled that one down a wee bit, but if it was perfect, it would probably say something like Hallmark on the back, not hand stamped for you by Diane. So, people really appreciate a handmade card. They're not overly concerned with it being perfect. No one's going to look at it and go, huh, it should look like this. That's what I tell all my ladies when we're in our class together. No one's seeing the sample. They're seeing your beautiful card, and they'll be pleased to receive it. Okay, so there's that pattern put together. I have these done already. So I'm going to layer my labels on. These are the Something Fancy dies. This one here is obviously a group of circles. So that's the 2 3/8 inch circle punch. That's the stitched Stylish Shapes one with the stitching, and then the 2-inch punch. These are Something Fancy dies, is what they're called. I'm not not sure what I'm going to say. They are called something fancy. I'm going to put a couple of leaves. This is my favorite punch right now. It's called the Bow Punch, and it does a flower and a leaf, and it has a matching stamp set. So you can also stamp these flowers and leaves and put them together. And I just think that's beautiful. So I'm going to put these on the back, and then I'm going to fit the leaves in. So I'll take some tape runner here. It's just easier and less messy than a liquid glue. And just position my leaves on. Ooh, I might need to go down a wee bit if I'm going to make that fit near the top of the card. And then put my little flowers inside. So I can put them up against that and kind of mingle them in amongst the leaves. Don't worry if they don't stick first time around, because we're going to put some dimensionals on the back, and that will help position them in place. So you don't have to get the glue out and try to liquid glue these pieces to your card front. This is a much simpler way to do it. We're going to run some of the dimensional bits over top, using up this sheet of dimensionals. One there in the middle too. And this will go on nicely. And then it just needs to go on a simple card base. And I've cut some vanilla ones for that. Now this paper, if you're wondering, is Inked Botanicals. Used it on all of these cards. It's absolutely beautiful paper. Gorgeous colors. See, I'm just reusing a piece that I was playing with the other day. I could put another layer on this too if I wanted to, or I could have popped it up on dimensionals. All right, so there's this one. Let's mat and mount the rest of the cards. And I will post, as always, pictures of the cards. Did you know I do a blog post every single day, and all of my videos are housed there as well? So I invite you to visit my blog, which is The Creative Inkster at blogspot.com. And on the Facebook page, right within where I post the photos of these cards, I put a link to that post. But I post pictures every day on both locations and on Instagram. It's the same project, so I can catch you either way, but you'll have the supplies list on my blog post at thecreativeinkster.blogspot.com so that you can pick up the supplies to make any of the cards that I post. All right, so we're getting these 3.5 by 4 3/4 inch layers down on the fronts of the cards. Vanilla makes it simple for writing inside the card. No extra pieces needed. And I've got a couple of other labels. So this is also from Something Fancy Dies. And just use the matching Lost Lagoon ribbon and a staple. That one a little bit on an angle. And then this one is just hand cut, and it's the Lost Lagoon ribbon as well. Put on the vanilla. Oh, this one's not wanting to come off. There we go. So all I did here was took my tape runner, ran it across the edge of my greeting on the back, and then squiggled the ribbon on. And this covers up that seam on the front of this one. So there we have it. 4 fairly quick cards, just cutting up a bunch of triangles. So thank you for watching. I hope you like them. I hope you give this idea a try and let me know how it works for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.